All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're logged in from. So welcome to the Pre Hackathon Learning Session of Clash of Test Titans 2022. So what we will be doing is, just a bit of explanation as to what you need to, the do's and don'ts, the understanding that you need to have even before the hackathon is happening on the 30th of July, right? So on the next slide, we just want to show you a bit of, we just want to welcome you to this whole new event that we are launching. So Clash of Titans is a hackathon event, a test automation hackathon event. So if you're somebody who's new in the test automation field, or if you're exploring, you can obviously participate in this. But if you are not somebody who knows automation, if you can pick up the skills in the next 2 days, you're welcome to participate. But yeah, you can also earn points otherwise. But a warm welcome to each one of you who are participating in this test automation hackathon. Shoaib, could you move to the next slide? Move to the next slide. All right, so today what the agenda we'll be covering is, just a quick introduction as to, what the hackathon is about. What is pCloudy? A hacker's checklist that you need to have handy during the hackathon. What are some things that you need to have, or before the hackathon, what are some things that you need to have prepared? And different nitty-gritties that Shoaib will take over and show you. So sign-up process, both with pCloudy and Test Titans, prerequisites for the hackathon, and a live demonstration of how you will be, doing the tests on the platform itself, a live demonstration of that, and the submission criteria for the hackathon, and there will be a judging criteria that will be shared as well. And so if you have any questions, do drop it on the chat box. We will try and answer them at the end in the Q&A session. Moving on, let's quickly look at what is the hacker's checklist. Right, so on the hacker's checklist, the first thing that you need to be doing is you need to sign up on the you need to have a pCloudy account. For that, you need to just sign up on the pCloudy platform. That's www.device.pcloudy.com. So you need to have an account there. If you don't have one, just go ahead and sign up. You can do that after this call as well. You can use the same credentials once you sign up. Once you have a pCloudy account, you can use the same credentials to join the Test Titans community. The links are on this presentation, and we will share this presentation with you towards the end of the call, or over an email. We'll pass this on over an email where you can use these links and relook at them. And we're also recording the session, so if you ever want to go back and listen to this, you can always do that as well, right? So the first thing that you need to do is sign up on the account, sign up and get a pCloudy account. Join the Test Titans community. The Test Titans community is a community of people who are testers in the Q&A space, developers, testers, and anybody who's interested in that field itself, right? So we want you to join, we want you to participate, we want to bring all these people together who are passionate about testing, so that we can keep in touch, learn from one another, share best practices and stuff like that, right? So that's the second point. Join the Test Titans community, and the leaderboard is something that you will have to keep your eyes peeled off on, right? Because the leaderboard is going to get you earning points even before you start your hackathon. So there are a few things that you'll need to do in order to be on this leaderboard, to qualify and rank up on that leaderboard. Is first of all, get your pCloudy account. That's one check, done. Join the Test Titans community. That's where all the communication for the hackathon will be also happening. So get that done as well. And once you do both of those, and then because you're part of this call on the pre-hackathon, you will be qualified to be on that leaderboard, right? There's also the top 10 people who come up on the leaderboard will be winning a swag kit worth rupees 2,500. So yeah, so you can earn points by doing different things on the community on the day of the hackathon, like posting a picture of yourself while you're doing the hackathon, or liking somebody else's post, sharing a bit about yourself on the community. So different things that are there on that leaderboard. So that this link will be shared, where you click on that leaderboard link, and that will take you to a document where there are different things that you will earn points. So 10 points, 20 points, and the guy who gets the most points and the top 10 people who get the most points will automatically win this 2,500 rupees swag kit. Right. So that's an option to make easy points, quick points to earn this. Right. The other thing is you need to join us for the next thing is join us for the opening ceremony of the hackathon on 30th July. The opening ceremony it'll be for an hour between 10 to 11 a.m. There'll be a welcome address by our co-founder Avinash Tiwari, and we'll have a few prerequisites even before, and we'll share the problem statement there. So then you'll have to be there on the opening ceremony, and also that also will earn some points for you to qualify on the leaderboard, right? And the next thing that you'll need to do is submit your solutions by 5 p.m. On the same day, right? That's the next pointer that we come up. So yeah, so start hacking and be sure to submit your project by 5 p.m. On the day of the hackathon. So all of the time that I'm mentioning is all Indian Standard Time. So if you're from any other part of the world trying to participate in the hackathon, we will have to map you on the Indian Standard Time. So just make a note of that and be a part of that. All right. With that, let me call upon Shoaib Ahmed. Shoaib Ahmed is a lead pre-sales consultant at pCloudy, and he knows a lot of the technical aspects of how the hackathon is going to be, and he will share a bit about what you need to get things done. He'll be sharing a bit about pCloudy as well. So over to you, Shoaib.
All right. Thank you so much, Dinakar, for the quick introduction and presenting the hackers checklist document and so on. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone. People joining from different part of the world. So my name is Shoaib Ahmed, and I'm a technical lead pre-sales consultant at pCloudy. So I will be the host for this hackathon, and we will help you out with a pre-session, right? So which will help you understand and how to, access the cloud, get the permissions, required permissions to the cloud, and also just some of the prerequisites that we have already shared. I'll just run through them as well, and followed by a live demo where I will be showcasing a live demonstration of the product from the automation capabilities, how the integration being done. So all that will be taken care in the next 45 minutes. So with that, let me just get started by just quickly giving a quick overview on what pCloud is. So when we talk about pCloudy is a continuous cloud testing platform which provides real devices across Android, iOS, on the desktop browsers, all on real devices, machines, with different manufacturers, make, model, different OS versions, where you can test all your different types of applications, be it native, hybrid, progressive web apps, mobile web apps, and the desktop web applications. So it's a one-stop shop. And so that's wherein we call this as an end-to-end, continuous testing platform. And there are 5 to 6 pillars from pCloudy, where we provide a device lab, which has a device infrastructure from all the leading devices across Android and iOS. So it's a pretty much scalable platform where you can quickly test your applications at any given point, right? Be it from functional or functional testing perspective for both manual and as well as automation. And on the browser side, you can pretty much test all your web-based applications. So as to make sure that you test across different OSS versions, different browser combinations. Right? So it's a one-stop shop where you can test all your mobile as well as web application testing. And when it comes to rapid automation, this is towards creation of the scripts. How are we going to create the scripts? So there are two different ways. Either we use in the APM desktop, or pCloudy has its inbuilt objects by feature, which helps you, inspect the native elements of the objects and create your scripts. Right, so that's one part, and the second part is we also have another flagship product, which is called as an OpKey, right? So which is basically, it's a record and playback tool, which is anyone can create the scripts in the organization, so without having any programming skills. That's about OpKey, though it's a separate product. We have tightly integrated this with pCloudy, but in the hackathon session, we are now asking the users to use the from the APM side, right? So where you create your scripts either by using the APM desktop or even through pCloudy objects by feature, which I'll try to showcase in today's demonstration. And the same scripts can be executed at scale. The automation scripts that you're going to create can be again further executed on different devices, executing parallelly at the same time. So that's one of the advantages of how you can optimize your automation testing and do your testing at a faster pace. And test analytics, which is very important part. Right, so whatever findings that you have done, either through logs or different screenshots or video capturings, so all that has to be captured, right? So pCloudy has a rich reports mechanism, which helps you provide all your findings post your manual or automation execution, which will help you analyze in the later stages, right? So even before the product application is released to production, you can pretty much identify those defects. So that's on the analytics side. And DevOps, when we talk about DevOps, we all understand how important is DevOps in today's technological world, right? As we move towards digital age, every organization has started adopting DevOps model, right? So that they can trigger their build directly through the CI/CD pipeline. So pCloudy has capable enough of integrating with all the leading CI servers, be it Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, Azure DevOps, and so on. Right, so that's about a quick overview on what pCloud is. Now we will get into the hackathon process. So to begin with, there are certain processes that you need to be known about. The first thing is the signing up to the pCloudy platform. So we have already rolled out, sent across different emails on how to register to the platform. But here is a quick snippet on how you can create your accounts if you have not already done. So you can just log into https://device.pcloudy.com, where you can quickly sign up to our platform. So once you sign up, you can log into the platform and just follow the steps that we are providing here. So this will help you quickly create your accounts on the pCloudy process. So here are the steps which we are providing it. Just follow it once you while you create your process. Once this is done, the access would be provided to you so that you can, on the hackathon day, you can just start your access to the cloud platform and start, working on this task that has been given to you guys. Right. So that's the sign up process, and also we will also request you to guys to sign up to the Test Titans community. Right. So this is a very important part where you will have to register yourself. And if you have already registered to the pCloudy platform, you can just use your pCloudy credentials even for the Test Titans, or you may create your accounts even on the pCloudy platform. Right. So here is the link in case if you have missed out your email. So we are rolling out all the details over the emails as well. So yeah, if you already have an account, as I said, you can just provide your pCloudy credentials, so that will help you log into the pCloudy platform. And all right, so if you don't have an account, so we request you to create an account on the pCloudy platform. So Test Titans community is basically around, where the developers, the different engineers can share their, feedbacks or anything around testing. And also during the hackathon, especially, we will use this community to, share across your suggestions, your thoughts, any questions you have while you are having any specific query around the hackathon event. So you can reach out on that particular day. So two important parts. First is signing up to the pCloudy platform, and then followed by the signing up to the test items, which is mandatory for you guys to participate in this. All right. And let's move on to the next slide. So we also rolled out some of the prerequisites to you guys, right? And just trying to put that across. If you've already done, you guys still have time, so that you just follow these prerequisites. Just properly configure on the machines, be it on Windows, Mac, or Linux machines, whatever machines that you're using. And make sure you guys also have a Git account, right? So this is the place where you will be pushing your code and sharing all the report details and stuff. So we will also share the submission criteria. What's the submission criteria that you will be submitting on the day of hackathon? All right. So Git account is something which is very mandate for you to share your findings. And then the automation framework. All right. So you make sure you have the right automation framework in place, whether either be it the test ng or any Python language that you're having. So you make sure you have already in place, right? And just make sure you have relevant Java SDKs on your machines, Maven in case if you're using Maven framework, and Eclipse IDE. We're just giving an example here in case if you're having your own IDE, be it Android Studio or Visual Studio, you can still use them. Just giving an example of Eclipse here, and followed by the right Android SDK, right? So because the hackathon event is targeted towards the Android applications, okay? And for inspecting the elements, the objects and elements of an app, right? So we suggest you to also have APM desktop installed on your machine. So it can be, the version can be 1.21 and below, right? So these are the supported ones. So you make sure you have this. And with that also you can use pCloudy's object spy as well. Okay, there is a feature called as pCloudy object spy, which will help you quickly get the objects and elements of an object. So that I will, as a part of live demo, that I will be covering. And on the day of hackathon, we will be sharing you the application, right? The Android app. We will share that through the link, right? So that you will get it on the day of hackathon. All right, so that's pretty much it from the presentation side, which I had to cover. Now I can quickly jump into the live demonstrations. Let me switch and just get into the browser side. All right, so this is the website. Okay, device.pcloudy.com is the URL where you can sign up. Right, so I'll just run through a sign up process here. So whatever we have provided the comments, you can just follow that. If you're a new user, if not already done, just make sure you create your accounts by following this simple sign up process. So once you have signed up, you will also be provided with certain credits, right? So that you just get a feel of the product, how the product looks like, and how are the devices and so on. But on the hackathon day, you will get a full-fledged automation license access. Okay, not before that, only on the day of hackathon. So let me just sign in with my credentials to the platform and take you through the platform. Okay, let me jump into the devices section. All right, so this is a very, very important page where you will be seeing all the different devices that are hosted on the cloud. So the devices that you see here are real devices. So we do not support simulators or emulators. Different real devices with different manufacturers, make and model. And yeah, at any given point, users can acquire this device. For the hackathon purpose, you may need not connect these devices through the UI, right? End of the day, because you are booking the device and connecting the device through the script, right? This is just for your understanding. However, if you need to understand a bit more about the features, you can come here and then connect to any specific device that you're looking at. Of course, if you're using object spy feature, you can connect to the device and use that object spy feature. So that I will showcase. And on the right hand side, there are filter options again, which helps you quickly filter based on any specific device if you're looking at based on operating system. So we have support for all the different versions of Android, starting from Android 5 to Android 12, and different iOS versions along with beta. Different OEMs, so you can filter based on different OEMs as well. Different screen size, we pretty much support all the different different smartphones, tablets, and phablets. So one can quickly filter. There are some real network carriers as well, right, for India and US, like Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, and some of the US network providers. And we have our data center spread across different locations. In India, we have it in Bangalore and Mumbai, one in US and one in Singapore. Right? So these are the dedicated locations. This is just for your understanding. And yeah, so that's about this. So before I acquire the device, let me talk about another important section called My App Data. So what is My App Data all about? So My App Data is basically, it's a cloud drive, right? It's a cloud drive given to every individual user where the user can upload the APKs and IPA file. So during the hackathon, so once you get the application under test from our Git repo, so you can simply download and upload it to the My App Data section. So that's the prerequisite. So you make sure you upload your APK file directly from your local dev. So once you download, you can simply browse it. If you have stored anything on your local desktop, you can simply upload it and keep it ready, right? And so that's the prerequisite. So you make sure you upload the application under test, which has to be triggered. Okay. So that's pretty much on the My App Data side. So now let me just go back to the devices section and and show how the device can be connected, right? For manual testing per se. So I can come here. So you can see the statuses here. So the blue icon indicates device being available, and the orange icon indicates device is in use, right? So you can connect the devices which are in the available state. So we do also have APIs which will help you fetch only the devices which are available, right? So you can just get into our documentation. If you just click on Help Center, this will take you to our documentation, and you can further get into the APIs page. For example, if you are looking to identify, if you're looking to get the devices list, right, which are available. So you can get in this section, and in the generic column, you'll see all the API details here, just in case if that is required. All right, so that's how you get into the documentation column. And for anything that you need to understand a bit more about the features, you can just get into the documentation and understand more about it. All right, so now let's focus on the automation part. All right, so since the hackathon is purely based on the automation side, right? So we'll focus more on APM today. So, but in general, we have support for all the different automation solutions like Opki. Opki is our internal solution, as I mentioned during the presentation, which helps you create your scripts while you're recording. So it's a codeless form of automation, so anyone can create the scripts. Of course, it's a licensed version. This has to be procured separately. But when it comes to the other open source automation tools like Espresso, APM, and XATest, so we will look into APM today. So if you have set up APM on your local, so this is something, the typical architecture, how it looks like, where you have an APM client and you run your test scripts, and this are APM server followed by the devices, correct? So this is the local environment when you set up on your local machine. Now, once this gets integrated with pCloudy, correct, you no more require the APM server. We just need the APM client where you have created the scripts and the test data, right? And once this is integrated with pCloudy, you can execute the same script on pCloudy devices, right? Be it on a single device or a multiple device at the same time. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now let's take a look at it in live. I'll just try to show one sample script that we have created. And also these scripts are available on our GitHub location in case if you wish to refer them. All right, so I'm using Eclipse as an IDE here. Okay, and this is my APM client where we have created certain projects. If you can see it on the left-hand side. So as I said, these projects are available on our GitHub location. So we can share these GitHub locations where you can just refer them in case if you need be. And this is on the TestNG framework. So for the hackathon purpose, you may pretty much use your own any framework, right? So we are not restricting on the frameworks. You use your own frameworks, whichever framework you are comfortable with. And so we are demonstrating this on the TestNG framework. So let's take a look at a sample script, how any APM script looks like. Right? So there are three different methods. One is before method, where we are initializing the driver, whether if it's Android or iOS. And this is the endpoint URL where the APM server is hosted. So currently, if you're running it on local environment, you will have the local APM server details, which will be replaced with pCloudy APM details. And then this is based on capability. So when I talk about integration, these are the 6 lines of code, right, is required for me in order to integrate with my existing APM script. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. I don't have to worry much about it, right? So it's very straightforward. Once I have these capabilities, I can simply add within my existing APM script and I'm done, right? And we do also have a capability configurator, right? So where you can create these capabilities, which I will showcase. And then the second part of the test is to write an actual test cases, right? So we have written for one of the sample application, which is a flight reservation, where the user is trying to book a flight. All right, so these are some of the sample test cases. So as I said, for creation of the script, you may use pCloudy's object spy feature for a native app, okay? And also use APM desktop, correct? So you make sure you have these on your machines, right? APM desktop in particular, if it's an hybrid app, okay? If it's an hybrid app, you can be dependent. However, on pCloudy's object spy feature, which supports native currently. Okay, at this point, we are supporting native elements only. Very soon, we are going to support hybrid as well. Okay, so create your own test cases and make sure you provide the relevant comments, capture screenshots, right? So that is ideal and would have added benefit when it comes to from the points table. And then the last part is the after method, right? So where we are quitting the driver. So these are basically the three different parts to any APM script. So now let's take a look how these capabilities are configured, right? So I'll go back to the pCloudy platform, into the devices, in the capabilities tab, where I can quickly configure whether if it's for Android or iOS, right? And then automation type, whether if it's a mobile-based web application, you choose browser testing, or if it's a hybrid and native app, use app testing. WildNet, this is used only in case if your application is internal, right? So if the application is internal, like intranet application, or which is restricted within a certain network, not exposed to outside public. So in such case, you use WildNet. Otherwise, you can just keep it to false here, okay, if it's publicly available. Then you enable the device logs, videos, performance data. So you make sure you have all these three options within your script, right? So this will capture all the parameters like device logs, APM logs, APM standard error logs, video. The entire session would be captured in the form of video. And then also key performance metrics like CPU chat, battery chat, network chat, all that will be captured with the help of this performance data capability. So you make sure you have all these three. And then you choose the location, correct? So most of the devices are hosted in India, but however, you have an option of selecting on the different clouds as well, right? So in case if you want to choose US or Singapore, just change the location accordingly. If you do not find the devices available on the on the India location, right? So we have many participants. So just in case if you think there is no device available on the India region, you can switch to US device as well, US region as well. Okay, the URL will change. Okay, you make sure you make a note of it. And then on which particular device you're going to execute this. So there are three different options. Either you go with the specific particular device name here. So if you're going with device full name, you can simply click on select. This will give you a list of devices, available devices on the cloud, okay, along with its status, correct? So you can select the device, whichever is available. And now the script will pick up only this particular device, right? And your script will get executed on that device. However, as a best approach, best practice, you can always go with manufacturer and the version. Say, for example, if you go with a device called Samsung and select the version maybe 9, 10, or 11, so the probability of getting the devices would be higher. Otherwise, what happens is if you are selecting one device and by the time you execute and if someone has occupied this device, then your script will fail. You will get an exception stating, the device is already booked. Okay? That's since this is a public cloud, right? So either make sure that the device is available and then you choose the device, or just go with the manufacturer. So this will give a good, the probability of getting the device. And then you provide the duration for how long your script will get executed. Okay, you can always keep some buffer time. There is no harm in keeping the upper limit. Say, for example, if my script takes around 20 minutes of time, what I'll do is I'll add some 10 minutes of buffer time and keep it to 30. Right? So this will ensure that my device will be booked for so-and-so duration. And even if the script is getting finished within that time, the device will get released automatically from the backend. Okay? So you make sure you provide the upper limit. And then you choose the application. right? So for the hackathon case, the application which we will be providing it to you, you make sure you upload that to the My App data, which is a cloud drive, and then you select that particular app. So I can select any app which I've already have, and then you make sure you provide the app package and app activity for that relevant app. So either we will be sharing this information with you guys for the app which we will be sharing, right? Or otherwise, yeah, even you can find the app package and app activity, on the different websites, so which can be available as well. So with that, let me just click on generate capabilities. So once I click on generate capabilities, the capabilities are generated, which I can edit or just copy it. All right. So if I need to change anything which I think which I need to edit, just click on edit option and change the parameter accordingly. Otherwise, you can simply copy this entire piece of information and you can take back this to the existing APM script and where you can have these capabilities. All right. So once you have these capabilities, you are pretty much done with the configuration of capabilities and also the integration part, right? On which particular device and also the application that you are executing. Correct. So this is something which you can get it through the capability configurator. And once you have these capabilities, now if you have already created the scripts, now you can very well just execute the script and see it on the platform how it looks like. So again, if you are going with device full name here, so you make sure that this device is available before you execute, right? This particular script will execute it only on a specific device. However, if you're going with manufacturer, say for example, if you're going with manufacturer called Samsung, right? So in such cases, and with the device version of 8, 9, or 10, whatever. So the device, so the script will pick up any one device from this combination. So you get a more number of devices, right? Availability devices. So the probability of getting the devices would be higher. So that's the purpose. Or what you can also do is, only in case if it's a parallel execution, you can define a parameter here called device name and pass that as an annotation. And we also have a test.ng XML where you can provide the values only if it's a parallel use case. Otherwise, you can simply provide the manufacturer and the version and then execute it. Right? Only if it's a parallel use case, then make sure you provide through the parameters. And I also have a test.ng XML where I can provide these values. Right. So for instance, if I need to execute on 2 different devices, I have provided their values here. So device name is my parameter and Samsung is my value. So I can keep on adding. So you can keep the complete device full name as well in case if you're looking to execute on it. All right. So once you have this capabilities and parameters defined, you are good to execute the script and execute the result and see it in real time. So let's execute now and see the test execution in real time. I'll do is I'll just go to run as, click on the test ng and trigger the test. So once I trigger the test, the execution will get triggered and you'll start seeing the console here where you can monitor all your errors and warnings. So this is more from APM. With pCloudy, what we are providing is we are going one step ahead and we are also providing you the live view. So to access the live view, just get into the report section. In the My Active session, you'll start seeing the devices coming in. So as you can see, 2 different devices, one from Samsung and one from Google. I did not provide the model name, right? So it got randomly picked up. Any available device, it just got picked with the version, whatever that I have provided. And I can further click on live view to see what exactly is happening during my execution. So this will help you during the debugging purpose. So if you of course, the execution will still happen in the backend. So live view is not mandatory, but this will help you see your scenarios in automation execution in real time, right? You can of course monitor your your Eclipse code which has been running. See if there are any specific issues that comes across. So you can pretty much monitor. At the same time, the script will get executed on this device. Okay. So yeah. So once the execution is completed on both the devices will get released and see if there are any failures. If there are any failures that has happened, so you can just quickly get into the reports, understand the logs. If you want to understand, I can either get into the console logs, or you may also get into the device logs or the APM logs, which is provided from the pCloudy side. Okay, so let me just share how you can view the reports. So just get into the all reports tab. In the all reports tab, you'll start seeing all the different reports, right? So depending on the number of devices that you have run, so we'll be providing the reports at the device level. You'll get all those reports. So this is still taking time because these devices are not yet released from the backend. So once that gets released, you'll get all the reports here. Let me showcase some of the reports which I've already executed and how it looks like, right? So these are my reports, okay? One for Samsung and one for Google. So there are two different reports that we are providing. One is the add-on report and the other one is a progressive report. So let's take a look at an add-on report. Just click on view report. Okay, and this is the automation session overview details of your test, which will give you all the session details along with the date and time, also the application name, along with session details, started, completion, total duration, and followed by the device details. So you can further get into the device details to get all the device level metrics on which specific device you executed this, and then followed by all the performance metrics like the CPU chat, right? So you make sure you enable the performance data, right? So if you have enabled, so you will get all these performance data. So CPU chat, which talks about the application consumption on the particular device, right? When it comes to the CPU chat, there's a memory consumption as well accordingly. There's a memory chart for the entire consumption of your RAM, and followed by network chat if there is any, battery chart, which talks about battery consumption of your application at the device level, app level, and then the raw data. We also provide you the raw data. In case if you wish to create your own graphs, you can use this raw data. And then all the logs and videos. So the entire session would be recorded in the form of logs, be it device logs, APM logs. So for any issues, you can refer them. And also the video, the entire session has been recorded in the form of video. So this is something which we are currently providing as an add-on report. And this report is shareable. Okay, so you make sure you click on this copy report link. Report link gets generated. So as part of the reporting side, you have to make sure once your test cases are executed and output is ready, you make sure you provide this report link as well, right? So that will also carry some points for the hackathon event. Okay, so just click on copy report link. And one more important point is, if you are a new user to pCloudy cloud, and by default, you will not see this copy reporting option. Okay, just make sure you get into your name on top right corner. Just go to the settings tab, and you make sure you enable the shareable report option. So by default, it is set to disabled. So if you're a new user to pCloudy, you will see this option in the disabled state. So you make sure you enable this. So once you enable, you will start seeing the copy report link. Otherwise, you will not see this option, right? Just make a note of it so that it helps you, while you're executing your scripts. Okay, all right. And also, we have also launched progressive report. Okay, so this is something which we newly launched. In case if you would like to understand more, you can just click on more. No more, you will have some all the details about progressive report. So there are certain capabilities and commands that you need to add within your APM script. Okay, I'll just run through how the progressive report looks like, right? So just click on the progressive report. So what is progressive report? Progressive report gives you the real-time statistics of your test execution, right? While your test is executed, you will get to understand about your testing statistics, like the number of tests that are passed, number of tests that are failed, along with all the key parameters like test logs, device logs, APM logs, video performance metrics, and everything. Okay, so I can drill down. I can configure all this. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Number of test cases that are passed, number of test cases that are failed, and all the build details. I can deep dive at the test case level to get all these metrics, correct? There's a video here, and these are the test logs which I've captured along with the screenshots. So in case if I am capturing screenshot for every step within my framework, right? So I can fetch all these details here. There are device logs, APM logs, okay, which you can download, okay, in case if you wish to debug it, you can do that as well. And the app profiling, which will basically talk about the performance metrics like CPU, memory, battery, and so on. So just have a note around progressive report as well. So based on the use case that will be given to you, you make sure you just work on it, all right? Need not necessarily whatever I explained today, you will be having it on the hackathon day. But I just gave a quick overview on all the different features, capabilities from automation perspective. Okay, so that's pretty much it from automation side. There are few questions that have come in. I'll just try to take those questions and answer before I move to the next part of the subject, which will basically talking about how you can submit the results and then the points that's been carried out for every section. Right. So let me just take these questions. Okay. Okay. There are a few interesting questions that have come. Let me take them. Okay, so there is a question from Naman who says, whatever will be doing on the day of hackathon, only those points will be considered for leaderboard, because there is already a leaderboard on pCloudy Test Academy. Geraldine, would you like to take this question?
Sure, Shayab. So I think the question was that to earn points on the leaderboard, there is one task where people will have to complete pCloudy certifications that we offer. So that task, you can take it before the hackathon itself, because it's a certification that you have to complete and earn points. So you can do it before the hacking period. But there are a few other tasks, like where you have to share a picture of you hacking, and you have to engage in the activity that's happening at the Test Titans community, to refer people. So all that you will have to do it on the hackathon day. But yeah, pCloudy Academy certifications, you can complete it even before the hackathon day itself.
Okay, I see your comments as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your comments. Yeah, I'll skip those, whichever you have answered. Okay. Existing subscriptions, right? We'll already have access to mobile live testing. No, this will not, I think. Yeah, Kamal has answered. Thanks, Kamal, for taking that question. We'll get the recording. Of course, you will get the recording. When we upload the scripts to Git, is it okay to have API key embedded, as it's not supposed to be shared on any third party or published on pCloudy? You're not, acha, when you upload your scripts to Git, is it okay to have API key embedded, as it is not supposed to be shared to any third party or published on pCloudy? I'll get this checked with my, so what we are planning here is, when you upload your scripts to the Git, right? I think you can make that as private option, so that people with concerned access only, they can, provide it. But however, you be ready with your Git accounts. Okay. Let me see if there is an option if we can have an API key. See, the problem, what will happen is, in that case, you may have to share the API key as well. Correct, only for the concerned person. But let me take that query and take it offline, and I'll get back to you. Can the raw data of memory CPU exist via APIs? Yes, we do have APIs. You can access those through the raw API. There is an API section where you can refer all those different APIs. Okay, leaderboard score, I'm gonna count for the hackathon results. So these are two different things. Leaderboard score is just for you to, there's some additional rewards that will be given for the leaderboard. So if you are among the top 10, as Dinakar mentioned in the earlier part of the discussion, so you will be given an additional benefit of having those rewards, right? So hackathon result will be completely different here. And another question, do we have connect to Zoom for the whole day till 5 p.m.? Yes. So we will be connecting on Zoom, and it will be connected for the whole day, okay, till 5 p.m. So the end time to submit your the scripts that you've created is till 5 p.m. Okay, so you make sure you upload before that.
So the Zoom session will be for an hour. The opening ceremony will be for an hour from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then you can break out, work on your task, and then submit your projects before 5 p.m. So we won't be connected on Zoom for the entire day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So the opening ceremony will be for an hour. After that, you can break out and with your teams or individually work on the task and share with us your projects.
All right. Thanks, Geraldine, for that correction. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let me just take you through some of the submission criteria details, right? How are you going to submit the details here? So as discussed, so you can have each team, to create their own Git repo links, right? You can be individual or you can create your own, have the common Git repo link if it's a part of a team, and then submit it. And you make sure, you push the code along with the results. So whatever criteria that was mentioned, you upload all your scripts along with the reports link, right? The pCloudy reports that we are talking about, and any extent report in case if you are using, so you can add those extent reports as well, be it extent or Allure report. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Also make sure you attach screenshot for every step, right, within the report. So it can be an extent report, an Allure report. So reporting has got some of the points. So the better the reports and the better the comments and the screenshots are, you will be on a higher side of getting those points. And the next point is to make sure you include some comments, right? So just like how to execute or get the result local report in case if you're having local reports. So this will help us validate the scenarios when we validate, right? What are the steps that is required? So it can be in the README file along with the scripts that you're going to upload. You make sure you submit the README file as well. Okay, this is very, very important. Yeah, and you can also share the link of your Git repo with the community at pCloudy.com. Right, so this is where you will be sharing your Git repo link. Once you upload all your details, all your scripts and the README file, you make sure you give your Git repo link email to community at pCloudy.com before 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is the deadline. All right, and then on the judging criteria, just throw some light around it. So the output of the scenario will carry 20 points. So you make sure you have the appropriate output, relevant output, so as to get the maximum points out of it. And then code cleanliness, which will again carry 15 points. So the better the code and the cleanliness that you follow while you are writing your scripts, this will also have some added benefits when it comes to the points. And then code optimization. This is also you have to make sure, right? Just keep in mind, the code is optimized. The more the code is optimized, you get a better points. And also make sure you provide comments for each step. So as this will carry 10 points. And also on the basic, the framework structure that you are going to use, right? So that will also, add points, which is around 20. And then reporting, as I said, reporting has its points. So you make sure you provide all your appropriate reports. One is pCloudy report, and then the extend report, either Allure report or extend report, whatever that you are providing. So you make sure you provide them as part of your results, correct? So because that will carry again 10 points. And yeah, so one more point is on the time, right? So time will also be calculated here. So make sure, as in once you are completed with your task, make sure you upload it before the time, right? So the users, the participants who are uploading, they're sharing the results earlier, will have some advantage. Okay, will carry some points to on the time as well. Right? So these are some of the judging criteria that we have. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from the Pre Hackathon session. So if there are any further queries, we can go ahead and get those queries. Okay, let me take. Okay, what will be the use case for hacking? So the use case, as I said, will be given on the hackathon day. All right. So it's an Android application. Okay, so that is something which I can inform at this point. It's an Android app where you will be given a use cases, and on those use cases, you will be creating the flow. Okay, we cannot reveal the use case at this point. So it will be revealed on the hackathon day. Puneet says, are we expected to follow any standard for the hackathon coding standards? you can follow the coding standard, but there is no prescribed rules here for the hackathon. Right? So as I said in the judging criteria, the better the code is, from the part cleanliness part, from the optimization part, the standard coding you can follow, but there is no any prescribed role for this hackathon, right? Okay, will AUT be debug based or released one? So it will be a debug based. Okay, so it's a developer app that has been built that we are. It's not available on the public cloud. All right, so you can use this app for creating the scenarios. Whatever the use case that we give, you can use this and write your test cases on the app. So those details again will be shared on the hackathon day, along with the README file and the use cases that you are expected to complete. Then, okay, interesting question. Mira says net surfing is allowed. Of course, you are allowed. You can do, I mean, as we said, there is no restrictions, right? So once the use case is given, it's all up to you. You can use, you can get help wherever you want, and even if it is part of the team, you can just work together and get the results out of it. So it's pretty much allowed, as this is not a classroom, right, hackathon. How many tasks will be there? Again, this will be revealed on that day. So we have make sure calculated the time, and you should be able to cover during that time, right? So the use cases will be shared on that day. Results. Geraldine, would you like to take these questions? When have you planned to give the results?
Results will be announced in 2 to 3 weeks after the hackathon day. We'll let you know through email, and follow our social media spaces to find out who the winners are.
All right, thank you. Can I be dependent on the object spy so that I will not have a setup APM desktop? You can use object spy, as I said, but make sure you have APM desktop as well. All right. So the intent here is, right, we are not revealed the use case, correct? You cannot be really dependent on the object spy alone. So make sure you have APM desktop on your machine. Okay. Any other rules for the hackathon, like 10 to 5, we have to connect it into Zoom call? Yeah, so I think Geraldine has answered. So only the first hour will be on the Zoom call. Rest we can, take it offline. Report sharing inside the project, we have to keep it or outside the script? It's okay. I mean, however you feel convenient, you can. Better is you can share it outside the project, right? So if you are uploading your project to the GitHub, so you make sure we get all the details, right? Like your project details, your reporting details, whatever README file that is there. So however want, you can keep it, but it is better you keep it outside your project. Okay, do we have to build the test cases as well, or just write the automation for the use cases given? You don't have to build the test cases as such. It's the use cases will be in the form of test case itself. So you can just start writing your automation test cases once we give you the use case. All right. Yeah, framework point of view, you can use any framework. So we're not expecting anything around framework. So whichever framework that you are comfortable with. Of course, there is some points around the basic framework structure. So there are no rules around the framework. You can choose your own, whichever you are comfortable with. Yes. And what about the test data? Can we choose our own? If it requires in the use cases, you can use your own test data, right? So you make sure if there is any test data that needs to be given, we will provide you. Otherwise, you can also use. So there is no. It all depends on the use case that we are going to provide. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I can just wait for a minute or so. Otherwise, we are right spot on the time. All right, we can conclude. Thank you so much, everyone. We look forward for all your participations on the hackathon day. So all the best. And if you haven't signed up to pCloudy or test community, make sure you complete these activities before the hackathon even, and also you follow the prerequisites that was given to you. All right. And we will be sharing this recording with all the audience as well, in case if anyone has missed the session, you can just follow this. So with that, I'll conclude now. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward on the hackathon day. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.